The square was quiet again, too quiet. The well rested, its stone rim cool beneath your palm. The lantern swayed gently, silver flame steady, neither urging nor warning. The fog curled along the ground like a tide that had gone out and was waiting for its return. You should have felt peace. After the mirror, after the chairs, after words you had left unspoken had been given shape at last. But the stillness carried weight. It pressed against your chest, reminding you of the reader's words. The fog remembers in clusters. Another call would come. The bell proved him right. It did not toll with thunder this time. It chimed softly, almost tenderly, as if a hand had brushed it instead of pulled the rope. The note hung in the air, fragile yet sharper than silence. Your companion looked at you, the stone in their palm dim now, no longer glowing but still warm. Their face was drawn with unease. "It's not over," they whispered. The reader said nothing. He only lifted his lantern. The flame stretched tall, a silver line across the fog. His eyes were fixed on the northern street, a street you had not walked yet. The figure at the edge of the square stirred at last. Their shadow lengthened as they stepped forward. Their voice was low, "Sir. It calls from the tower." You turned. There, at the far end of the northern street, half swallowed by mist, a shape loomed. You had not noticed it before. A tower, tall, narrow, crooked as a finger bent too many times. Its windows were black, its stones pale, streaked with watermarks as though it had been weeping for years. The bell tolled again, louder. From its peak, the fog surged forward, curling into the street, beckoning. Your ribbon pulsed. The reader met your eyes. The tower does not echo promises, it keeps them. Be certain before you step inside. Your throat tightened. "And if I'm not," the reader's lantern swayed gently, "then the fog will decide for you." The bell tolled again, and the fog began to move, carrying you toward the tower. The northern street narrowed quickly, its stones slick with damp, its walls leaning close. Water dripped from cracks in the roofs, each drop sounding too loud in the silence. The fog swirled higher, brushing your waist, your chest, carrying with it whispers that did not form words, only fragments of breaths, unfinished syllables, promises broken before they could finish. The bell tolled once more. The sound rattled through your bones, sharp and heavy. Your companion whispered, "Do we have to?" The reader answered, calm as ever. "The fog does not open a path without reason." The figure muttered, "and rarely for mercy." The tower loomed nearer. Its stones were cracked, its windows narrow slits, black as wounds. At its base, a wooden door leaned crooked on rusted hinges. No handle, no knocker, only the rope of the bell, frayed and damp, hanging limp against the wood. The bell tolled again, though the rope did not move. You reached for it. The moment your fingers brushed the cord, the door groaned open. Fog spilled out in a torrent, swallowing the street, dragging you forward. Your companion clutched your arm, the reader raised his lantern. The figure stepped behind you, but the fog pulled you all inside. The door slammed. The air within was thick, acrid, damp with the stink of rust and mildew. The interior was narrow, spiraling upward in an endless staircase. Stone steps curved along the walls, slick with moss, vanishing into black. The bell tolled again from above, shaking dust loose from the beams. You began to climb. Each step groaned beneath your weight, as though remembering countless feet that had ascended before you. The fog pressed close, coiling around your ankles, your knees, your chest, guiding you upward, upward, upward. The first landing appeared. A wooden door, closed, no rope, no handle, only a mark carved into its surface, a handprint deep blackened, burned into the wood. The bell tolled again. The reader's lantern swayed, his voice was soft. The doors mark what was kept here. Each one holds a promise that did not survive. Your chest tightened. Will I have to open them? His gaze met yours. The tower decides, not you. The handprint pulsed faintly in the silver light. The fog pressed closer, urging you onward. The bell tolled again, and the climb continued. The staircase curved upward in a long, slow coil. Each step bowed beneath your weight, stone worn smooth by countless feet before you. The air grew colder with each turn, the fog pressing closer around your chest, curling into the spiral as if it, too, wished to climb. The bell tolled again. Its sound was heavy here, trapped in stone, echoing along the walls until it seemed to ring inside your ribs. You stopped, hand braced against the damp wall, breath uneven. The rope of the bell had not moved, yet the sound had grown sharper, louder, as though it knew you were listening. The first landing waited. A wooden door stood to your right, swollen with damp, its surface scarred by a blackened handprint burned deep into the grain. No handle, no latch, only that mark dark as ash. The reader lifted his lantern. The silver flame caught the grooves of the print, making them gleam faintly. His voice was steady, though low. This one held a vow of safety. Someone promised to guard another and did not. Your chest tightened. You took a half step closer. The fog rose eagerly, pressing against your legs, urging you nearer. Your companion gripped your wrist. Don't, they whispered. Their stone flickered weakly in their palm, as though even it feared what might come from touching the mark. The figure behind you said nothing. They only watched, their eyes unreadable in the gloom. The bell tolled again, louder. The door shuddered in its frame. You pressed your palm against the handprint. The wood was hot, blistering, though no fire burned. The heat sank into your skin, through your bones, up your arm. Your vision blurred, white with the memory of flame. You heard a voice then, faint, cracking, breaking through smoke. You said you'd stand between us. The words struck deep. The fog swirled violently, wrapping around your chest, whispering a chorus of the same phrase. You said you'd stand between us. You said you'd stand between us. You pulled your hand away. The door fell silent, the handprint dimmed. The reader's voice broke the hush. The tower does not open everything at once. It only reminds. You swallowed hard, the heat still burning in your palm. The climb waited above. The bell tolled again. The second landing came sooner than expected, as though the tower had shifted its bones to hasten your steps. Another door, taller, narrower. Its surface was pale, streaked with water stains, its center carved with a circle. Within the circle, nothing. A hollow void, black and endless. Your companion shuddered. I don't like this one. The reader's lantern swayed. The flame dimmed as though unwilling to shine too close. This held a vow of truth, he said quietly. Someone swore to speak plain and instead spoke silence. The fog thickened, pressing so tightly around your throat you struggled to breathe. A voice rose from behind the door, a whisper, slow and deliberate. Say it. The word slid under your skin. It sank into your chest. It pressed against your teeth. Say it. The voices rose, louder, overlapping, all whispering, all demanding. Say it, say it, say it. Your ribbon pulsed. The knot burned against your skin. Your lips parted. A word trembled there, unspoken for years. But the reader's lantern flared suddenly, a burst of silver light. The whispers fell silent. The fog recoiled. The door stilled. The reader's voice was low, firm. Not here. Not now. The bell tolled again, sharper, angrier. You staggered back. The fog pressed harder, but the light held. The staircase wound upward still. The third landing came. This door was different, not burned, not carved, not stained. It was smooth, unmarked, pale as bone. And yet, as you approached, the wood shifted faintly as though it were breathing. Your companion's grip on your arm tightened. Their whisper shook. "Please, not this one." The reader's face was unreadable in the lantern's glow. "This one has not yet been claimed." The figure at the rear stepped forward, their shadow long in the flame. "Then it waits for you." Your breath caught. "For me," the reader nodded once. "Every climber leaves a mark. This will be yours." The bell tolled, louder than before. The walls trembled. Dust rained from above. The fog surged, wrapping around your arms, your waist, your throat. It pushed you toward the door. Your ribbon pulsed furiously, burning with each heartbeat. The wood shifted again. A faint impression spread across its surface, shallow but growing clearer. It was your hand, already pressed there, already burned in. The door waited, and the bell tolled again. The bell tolled. Its note filled every hollow of the tower, shaking the stone beneath your feet. The smooth, pale door before you seemed to inhale the sound. The impression of your hand deepened, lines etching themselves into the wood, not carved but grown, as though the tower itself remembered your palm before you ever raised it. Your companion clutched your arm, their stone dim but trembling with heat. "Don't," they whispered. Their voice cracked on the word, as if they already knew it would not be enough. The reader's lantern swayed, silver light spilling across the fog. His face was grave, heavy. "You cannot pass it by," he said softly. "The tower will not let you. Every climber leaves their mark." The figure behind you stepped closer, their voice low, even. "And marks always answer." The fog surged, curling higher, wrapping your chest, your throat, pressing you against the door. The ribbon burned, the knot searing bright silver. You lifted your hand. The wood was warm, too warm. The heat sank into your palm, seared your skin, branded itself into you. The impression on the door glowed faintly, pulsing in rhythm with your heartbeat. The bell tolled again. The world fell away. You were not in the tower anymore. The fog dissolved into an open field, gray and endless, the sky heavy with clouds that never moved. The air was dry, tasteless. The ground beneath your feet was cracked, barren. No houses, no lanterns, no well. Only silence and a single figure standing at the far edge of the field. They faced away from you. Their shoulders were yours. Their stance was yours. Their hair, their hands, their every detail was yours. You stepped forward, heart hammering. The ground crunched with each pace, the cracks widening underfoot. The figure did not move. When you were near enough to speak, your voice broke the silence. "Who are you?" The figure's head tilted slightly, just enough to acknowledge you. Their voice was your voice, but heavier, slower, thick with weight. "I am what you left when you walked away." The words sank into you like stones. "I thought I carried you," you said. The figure shook their head. "You carried excuses. I carried silence. You carried faces. I carried the hours you abandoned. You carried fear. I carried the weight." The fog stirred faintly at your feet, whispering low, 1,000 voices folding into one. "Listen, your reflection, no, not reflection, not younger, not older, but parallel turned at last. Their eyes met yours and your knees weakened. Their face was hollowed, not from time, but from absence, the absence you had chosen. They stepped closer. "Tell me why." The words echoed, not from their mouth, but from the air itself, from the cracks in the ground, from the clouds above. "Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why." The bell tolled again, though no tower stood here. The sound burst from the sky, a thunder that shook the field. Your ribbon pulsed, burning. Your throat ached. You staggered forward, breath ragged. "Because I couldn't stay. Because if I stayed, I would break. Because I thought leaving was mercy." Your twin's eyes narrowed, dark. Their voice was a knife. It was not mercy for me. The ground cracked wider. The fog surged upward, wrapping around both of you. Your companion's voice cut faintly through the roar, distant, muffled. Don't give it everything. The reader's lantern flared somewhere beyond the clouds, silver light breaking through like moonlight caught in storm. His voice rang out sharp. Only what you can carry back. Your double stepped closer, face inches from yours now, their breath your breath, their voice your voice. Then carry me. The fog screamed. The bell tolled. The field split wide, and you fell. You landed hard against the stone steps of the tower. The door slammed shut behind you, its surface glowing faintly with the imprint of your hand, burned deep, permanent. The ribbon seared your wrist, not drawn tighter, pulsing like a second heart. Your companion knelt beside you, panic in their eyes. What happened? What did you see? The reader lowered his lantern, his face grim. The tower has claimed its promise. You will carry it now. The figure leaned against the wall, watching, silent. The bell tolled again, this time softer, not demanding, not angry, but patient, waiting for the climb to continue. The bell tolled. Its note rolled down the spiral like thunder poured into stone. The steps beneath you shuddered faintly, dust sifting from cracks in the ceiling, settling in the fog that still clung to your legs. You rose slowly, breath ragged. The imprint of your hand burned on the pale door behind you, its glow fading but not vanishing. The mark was yours now, permanent. The knot of the ribbon pulsed in rhythm with your chest, neither loosening nor tightening, only reminding. The reader lifted his lantern. His eyes met yours, calm but heavy. The tower accepts you, he said. Now it will ask for more. Your companion reached for your arm. Their stone flickered faintly, dimmer than ever before, but still warm. We could stop, they whispered. We could go back down. The figure shook their head once firmly. The tower does not open downward once you've given it your mark. The bell tolled again. The fog surged upward, curling around the spiral stairs, urging you forward. You climbed. The steps curved endlessly, each one slick with moss, each groaning faintly beneath your weight. The walls wept with condensation, rivulets of water tracing slow paths downward, leaving trails dark as ink. The air grew heavier with each turn, thick with the taste of rust and wet stone. The second landing came. A door waited there, taller than the others, its wood blackened, its surface covered with faint scratches that spread outward like desperate claws. The reader's lantern swayed, silver light catching on the grooves. His voice was low. This one held a vow of protection. Someone swore to shield another, but let them fall. The fog pressed closer. The scratches on the wood deepened as if fresh. A faint sound rose from behind the door, a slow, dragging breath, heavy with despair. Your companion shook their head. Don't touch it. But your hand lifted anyway. The wood was cold this time, colder than ice. The chill sank into your skin, racing up your arm, burrowing into your chest. And then you heard it, a voice, faint, fragile. You said you would catch me. The words broke into your bones. The fog pressed harder, whispering the same phrase. You said you would catch me. You said you would catch me. You yanked your hand back. The door fell silent, though the scratches gleamed faintly in the lantern's light. The reader's eyes lingered on you. The tower does not forget, he said. It only waits. The bell tolled again. You climbed. The third landing waited. This door was not wood at all. It was stone carved into the wall itself, its surface smooth and seamless except for a single crack down the center. The crack glowed faintly, pale as bone. The fog surged toward it, gathering in thick columns, coiling like smoke pulled into a vent. A whisper rose faintly, curling through the scene. Open. The word slipped into your ear, into your throat, into your chest. It pressed against your teeth, begging to be spoken back. Open. Your ribbon pulsed. The reader raised his lantern higher, the flame flaring bright. The whisper recoiled, hissing faintly. Do not answer it, he said. The stone door is hunger. It does not lead to what you left. It leads to what would take you. The whisper returned, softer, coaxing. Open. Your lips parted. Your companion grabbed your hand, pulling it down. Their stone flared suddenly, brighter than before, golden light spilling across the scene. The whisper died instantly. The fog recoiled. The crack dimmed. The reader exhaled slowly. Not all doors must be touched, remember that. The bell tolled again. Louder, the tower groaned, you climbed. The fourth landing was higher still. This door was different. Narrow, crooked, its frame bent, its hinges rusted through. The wood was pale, thin, almost skeletal, and carved into its surface in long, uneven lines was a single word. Wait. The fog hushed at the sight of it. Even the whispers silenced themselves. Your companion froze, their stone trembling in their palm. They stared at the word carved there, eyes wide, lips parted. The reader's lantern dimmed, as though the flame itself bent its head in silence. This is not the tower's mark, he murmured. This is the mark of someone who climbed before you. The figure stepped forward, placing 2 fingers against the letters. Their voice was steady. They left this word so you would not rush. The bell tolled again, softer this time, almost patient. The fog shifted, parting slightly, curling away from the door. You felt your ribbon pulse, not hot, not burning, calm. And for the first time, the climb did not feel like a demand. It felt like permission. You stepped back from the word. The door did not open. The fog did not push. The bell did not toll again. The stairs above waited, silent. And you climbed. The stair curved tighter now, the steps narrower, slick with moss and damp. The fog thickened again, no longer drifting lazily but swirling with purpose, pressing at your back, urging you higher, higher. The bell tolled. The note was deeper than before, so heavy it rattled your bones, so vast it seemed to bend the very stones of the tower. Dust rained from above. The flame of the reader's lantern wavered, stretched thin, nearly extinguished before steadying again. Your companion stumbled, clutching the stone to their chest. Its glow had faded to a faint pulse, a weak imitation of what it once held. They met your eyes, their voice strained. It doesn't want us to stop anymore. The figure behind you muttered. It never did. The steps curved once more, and then you saw it, a faint glow spilling down from the chamber above. Not lantern light, not silver, something older, paler, the color of bone bleached by years of waiting. The bell tolled again. The sound no longer echoed. It filled everything, the walls, the stairs, your chest, your head. You could not tell where the tower ended and the sound began. You reached the top. The chamber was vast and circular, larger than the square, larger than the chair room, larger than any place you had seen in the town. Its ceiling was lost in shadow. Its walls were cracked and streaked, fog seeping from the seams like breath. At the center stood the bell. It was taller than a man, wider than 3. Its surface was pitted with age, its bronze skin dulled to gray-green. Runes were etched into its rim, faint, worn, unreadable, though they seemed to shift faintly when the light caught them. A thick rope hung from its clapper, frayed, damp. Its end coiled upon the stones like a waiting serpent. The fog circled it, swirling in endless loops, rising and falling with the bell's own breath. And around the bell, seated in a perfect ring, were figures, not blurred, not half-formed, clear, They were people or had been once. Their skin pale, stretched thin, their eyes hollow yet burning faintly with light. Their hands rested upon their knees, palms upward as though waiting to receive something. The bell tolled again. Every figure lifted their head in unison, their eyes fixed on you. The reader stepped forward, lantern high. The silver flame fought against the bone light of the chamber, shrinking but refusing to vanish. His voice was low, steady. This is the bell that keeps what cannot be kept. Every vow, every silence, every word swallowed, and every word broken. It holds them all, and it waits for those who left them to return. Your chest tightened. The ribbon pulsed, burning hot. Your companions shook their head, their voice trembling. We shouldn't be here. This isn't for us. The figure stepped past them, closer to the bell. Their voice was calm, cold. It is for them. The tower chose. The mark on the door proved it. The fog swirled higher, coiling around your arms, your waist, your throat. It pressed you forward. The bell tolled again, and 1,000 whispers rose from the figure seated around it. Not in anger, not in demand, but in unison. Speak. The word thundered through the chamber. It shook your teeth. It rattled your bones. It pressed against your chest until you could hardly breathe. The rope swayed faintly, though no hand touched it. The reader's voice cut through the roar, sharp as steel. Do not give it all. Give only what you can survive. Your companion clutched your wrist, eyes wide, desperate. Please don't. The figure by the bell turned to you. Their face was shadow, their outline heavy. The time has come. Speak and let it be kept. The fog screamed. The ribbon seared. The bell tolled once more. And every voice in the chamber, the seated figures, the fog, the tower itself, demanded as one. Why did you leave? The bell tolled. The sound was not a note, but a time. It poured through you, pressed against your chest, filled your ears until the chamber disappeared. You could not tell where your heartbeat ended and the toll began. The fog rose higher, curling around your shoulders, slipping across your face. The ring of seated figures leaned forward in unison. Their hollow eyes gleamed faintly in the pale light. Their mouths opened, not to shout, not to scream, but to shape the single word again. Why? The rope swayed gently, frayed strands brushing the stones with a soft hiss. Your knees weakened. You fell, palms pressed against the cold floor. The ribbon at your wrist seared, the knot pulsing bright silver, each throb a command. Your companion crouched beside you, clutching the stone to their chest. Its glow was almost gone, fading with each toll. Don't answer it, they whispered, desperation in their voice. If you give it everything, it will take everything. The reader's lantern flared, silver flame stretching tall, though even he looked strained. You cannot stay silent. If you do, the tower will speak for you. The figure near the bell stood taller, their outline sharp against the fog. Their voice was low, sir. It will not stop until you answer. The seated figure spoke again, louder this time. Why did you leave? Why did you leave? Why did you leave? The sound layered, a chorus that shook the chamber, pressed into your bones, filled the air until you could hardly draw breath. You raised your head. The bell loomed before you, its bronze skin glimmering faintly with runes that shifted in the light. The rope swayed, inviting, waiting. I was afraid, you whispered. The chamber hushed. Every figure leaned closer. I was afraid of breaking. I was afraid of failing. I thought if I walked away, I could return stronger. The words fell into the air like stones. The bell vibrated, humming low, the rope shivering faintly. The seated figures whispered in unison, softer now. You left. Your throat burned. Tears stung your eyes. The ribbon seared against your skin, its light flaring. I left because I thought distance was mercy. I told myself leaving was a kindness, but it was only silence, and silence is heavier than promises. The bell tolled again, this time not loud, not violent, a low, steady hum, almost like a sigh. The fog stilled, coiling low around the floor. The rope swayed once more, then fell still. The ring of figures lowered their heads, hands returning to their laps, their eyes dimmed, hollow light fading. For a moment the chamber felt at rest. Then a single voice rose, not from the figures, not from the fog, from the bell itself. You will carry it. The words were not sound but vibration, shaking through your chest, rattling your teeth, searing into your bones. The ribbon tightened, burning hot, the knot cinching until your pulse thundered against it. Your companion cried out, reaching for your arm. No! The reader's lantern flared, silver light bursting through the fog, steadying the air. His voice cut through the vibration, sharp as steel. Only what they can bear. No more. The bell hummed low, almost amused. The runes along its rim glowed faintly, pulsing with each syllable. They will carry it, and they will return. The rope fell still. The figures lowered their heads in unison. The fog receded slightly, curling away from your throat, loosening its hold. The reader lowered his lantern. His face was pale, weary. The tower has marked you. It will not release you yet. Your companion trembled, clutching the stone. What does that mean? The reader's eyes lingered on you. His voice was heavy. It means the climb is not finished. The bell tolled once more, soft, patient, waiting. The bell tolled again, not thunder, not roar. A hum, low and endless, like the sound of the earth turning beneath your feet. The rope shivered faintly, strands swaying in rhythm with your heartbeat. The fog rose again, coiling in slow spirals, lifting above your head, then folding downward as if the whole chamber breathed with the bell. The ring of figures remained bowed, their hollow eyes dim, their hands folded neatly in their laps. They were waiting, not for the bell, not for the reader, not for the fog. They were waiting for you. Your ribbon pulsed, the knot cinched so tightly that each beat felt like a spark in your veins. You pressed a hand against it, but the heat only spread further, climbing your arm, sinking into your chest. Your companion reached for you, stone trembling weakly in their palm. You can't hold it all, they whispered. Don't let it give you everything. The reader raised his lantern, silver flame steady despite the heavy air. His voice carried low but sharp. It cannot give everything, but it can test. Be ready. The figure by the bell turned, their face shadow, their voice deep as the fog itself. They are ready. The tower would not have brought them here otherwise. The bell tolled once more. The runes carved into its rim flared bright, lines of pale fire racing across the bronze, shifting into shapes you could almost read. For an instant you saw words, names, places, promises before they blurred again, unreadable, alive. And then the chamber changed. The floor beneath you softened, dissolving into mist. The stone walls bled away into shadow. You stood suddenly in another place. A road, empty, long, paved with uneven stones, each cracked, some broken. The fog hung low across the ground, hiding the distance, swallowing the horizon. And ahead of you, a figure walking away. Their back was familiar. Their gait was yours. Their shadow stretched across the road, long and thin, until it touched your feet. The bell tolled. The figure stopped. Slowly they turned. It was you, but not hollow, not blurred, not broken. Whole. Their eyes glowed faintly, clear and sharp. Their mouth curved in the smallest smile. You left me here, they said. Their voice was calm, steady. But I did not vanish. You tried to speak, but the words caught. I am what walked forward when you would not, they continued. I am what chose silence when you chose absence. I am what remembered when you tried to forget. The fog stirred at your feet, whispering in 1,000 voices. Listen, your throat burned. What do you want from me? The other you stepped closer. Their face was patient, their eyes bright. Nothing. I want you to know that I exist. That even when you ran, even when you hid, I kept walking. And I will not stop. The bell tolled again. The vision shattered. The road dissolved. The chamber returned. You fell to your knees, chest heaving. The ribbon seared against your wrist, light spilling from the knot in silver threads that crawled up your arm like veins of fire. Your companion knelt beside you, panic in their eyes. It's taking too much. Stop. The reader held his lantern high, his face pale, jaw tight. They cannot stop now. The bell has chosen. The rope swayed again, strands brushing the stone with a hiss. The bell tolled. The runes flared bright once more, and the chamber changed again. This time a field, wide, empty. Dry grass crackled beneath your feet. The horizon stretched in every direction, endless, and in the distance a single house. Its walls were crooked, its windows dark. The door stood open, a black mouth yawning. The fog curled low, whispering faintly. Return! The bell tolled. The door of the house creaked wider. A voice drifted from within. You said you would come back. The sound broke something inside you. The door waited. The fog pressed. The bell tolled again, and the chamber dissolved around you. The field stretched wide around you, dry grass whispering under a sky that had no sun. The horizon bent faintly, blurred, as though the world itself did not wish to be held in your sight. Ahead, the house waited. Its walls sagged inward, timbers warped and gray. The roof line crooked like a spine bent under too much weight. The windows were black, glassless, hollow. The door stood ajar, a sliver of darkness yawning deep enough to swallow sound. The bell tolled. The note rolled through the field, rattling the loose boards, shaking the hinges until the door creaked wider. The sound was not just in the air. It hummed beneath your ribs, crawled through your teeth, pressed against your throat. You said you would come back, the voice whispered again. It came from inside, calm, patient, familiar. The fog pressed at your legs, curling higher, hurting you forward. Each step was heavy, the ground soft as ash, crumbling beneath your feet. The closer you came, the stronger the smell. Mildew, iron, dust. A house abandoned yet never empty. Your hand touched the frame. The wood was damp, soft, trembling faintly under your palm as if the house itself was alive. The ribbon seared your wrist. The bell tolled again, and you stepped inside. The air within was thick, stale. The fog followed you in, curling across warped floorboards that groaned under your weight. The walls were close, bowing inward, paper peeling in strips. Every surface smelled of damp earth, of stone soaked in rain and left to rot. The room before you was small. A table stood at its center, its wood cracked, its legs crooked. Upon it, a plate white porcelain, fractured by a single long crack that ran to its center. Beside it, a cup half filled with water that smelled faintly of rust. The chair at the table was occupied. A figure sat there, hands folded neatly, head bowed. Their face was hidden in shadow. But you knew the shape of their shoulders, the angle of their jaw. It was you. The bell tolled. The figure raised their head slowly. Their eyes caught the light of the crack in the wall, pale, hollow. You said you would return before the plate broke. Your stomach twisted. The figure's hand rose. They touched the crack in the porcelain, tracing it slowly with a fingertip. The sound was sharp, scraping, unbearable. You left it on the table, they said. Their voice was your own, steady but heavy. And you did not come back. It waited. It broke. The fog whispered from the corners of the house. Wait, wait, wait. Your ribbon pulsed hot. The figure lifted their eyes to you. Why? The bell tolled again. The house shook. The walls groaned. Dust rained from the beams above. I couldn't stay, you whispered. Your throat was tight. If I stayed, I would break too. The figure's mouth curved into something that was not a smile. And so you left the breaking here. They pushed the plate across the table. It slid toward you, the crack splitting wider with a sound like tearing cloth. The fog surged, curling around your arms, your chest, forcing you closer to the table. The plate trembled, the fracture spreading into a spiderweb of lines. Take it, the figure said. Carry what you left. The bell tolled. The plate shattered. The sound was deafening. Shards scattered across the floor, skittering into the corners, glinting faintly in the dim light. The fog screamed, rising in violent waves, pressing you to your knees. The ribbon burned so hot it seared your skin, light spilling from the knot in silver sparks. The figure across the table leaned closer, their hollow eyes fixed on yours. You cannot run from broken things, they said. You must carry them, all of them. The bell tolled again, and the house dissolved. You collapsed against cold stone. The chamber returned, the bell looming above, the ring of seated figures, the fog swirling thick. Your companion clutched your arm, eyes wide, tears in their face. What happened? What did it take? The reader's lantern flared, steadying the air. His voice was calm but grave. It gave them their plate. It will give more. The figure by the bell turned toward you, shadow sharp against the glow. You are not finished. The bell tolled once more, and the rope swayed. The cold stone pressed against your palms, anchoring you back to the chamber. The sound of the plate shattering still echoed in your ears, though no shards lay at your feet. Only the rope swayed faintly, brushing the floor with its frayed strands, as if mocking what had broken in your hands. The seated figures remained bowed, but their heads twitched faintly, as though listening closer than before. The fog curled around them like pale cloth, whispering low, restless, eager for the next word. Your companion knelt at your side. Their stone trembled faintly, its glow no brighter than an ember. They touched your wrist, wincing at the heat of the ribbon. You don't have to let it take more, they whispered. You've given enough. The reader lifted his lantern. Its silver flame pulsed once, stretching long before shrinking again. His face was worn, shadows deep under his eyes. The bell decides what is enough, he said softly. Not them, not us, not even you. The figure near the bell stepped forward, their outline sharp against the pale bronze. Their voice carried with certainty. The tower will not stop until it has claimed every piece that was left. To climb is to surrender step by step. You tried to stand, but your legs shook. The ribbon burned, the knot glowing silver, threads of light crawling up your arm like veins of fire. The bell tolled. The chamber shuddered. Dust rained from the vaulted ceiling, vanishing into the fog before it touched the ground. The runes etched along the rim flared bright, twisting into shapes almost familiar, almost words. The reader's gaze followed the light. It calls another, he murmured, your throat tight. Another vision, his eyes met yours steady. Another weight, the rope swayed. The fog pressed closer, curling tight around your shoulders, your throat, your chest. The figures lifted their heads in unison, hollow eyes glowing faintly, mouths opening wide to whisper as one. More. Your companion clutched your arm, their voice breaking. It will tear you apart if you let it. Please resist. The reader's lantern flared, silver fire spilling across the chamber. His voice sharpened. They cannot resist. The bell chose them. They can only endure. The figure by the bell nodded slowly. And endure they will. The bell tolled again. The rope snapped upward, strands hissing, and the chamber dissolved. You were standing in a room you knew. The walls were close, crooked, lined with shelves sagging beneath the weight of glass jars. Some were filled with cloudy water, others with dried herbs, others with things you could not name. Their lids rattled faintly as though something within wished to be freed. The air smelled of mildew and rust. You froze. You had been here before. The house of jars. The bell tolled again. A single jar on the middle shelf quivered violently. Its lid rattled, glowing faintly in the dim light. Inside, a ribbon floated gray, frayed, lifeless. A whisper rose from the jar. You said you would keep me safe. Your chest hollowed. The fog pressed against your shoulders, urging you closer. The jar trembled harder, cracks spidering across its glass. You left me in the dark. Your ribbon seared, burning hotter, pulling your hand toward the jar. Your companion's voice reached you faintly, muffled as though through water. Don't touch it, don't, the reader's voice followed, distant, strained. If they do not, the bell will. The figure's shadow loomed long, steady. Then let them. The bell tolled again. The jar shattered. Water spilled across the shelves, down the walls, pooling around your feet. The ribbon inside rose, twisting in the air, glowing faint silver. It wrapped itself around your wrist, knotting tight, searing into your skin until the threads burned bright. Your throat caught. You fell to your knees, clutching your arm. The whisper came again, not from the jar, not from the fog, but from the ribbon itself. You cannot keep me safe. You can only carry me. The bell tolled, and the room dissolved. You collapsed once more upon the cold stone of the chamber. The bell loomed above, runes burning bright. The rope swayed. The fog howled. Your companion's hands shook as they gripped your shoulders. It's killing you, they cried. Can't you see it's killing you? The reader's lantern pulsed, flame burning steadier. His voice was calm but grave. Not killing, changing. The figure by the bell stepped forward, their voice quiet, sir. And change is the only way the tower releases what it keeps. The bell tolled once more, soft, patient, waiting for the next piece. The chamber trembled with the fading toll. The rope swayed once, brushing the stone floor with its frayed strands. The runes along the rim of the bell pulsed in slow rhythm, silver light flaring and dimming like a heartbeat. You knelt on the cold floor, chest heaving, the ribbon at your wrist seared into your skin. Its light spread in faint veins up your arm, glowing through your flesh, threading into your pulse. The jar was gone. The vision of its shattering vanished, but the weight of its promise remained. Your companion crouched beside you, voice ragged. You can't take more. Look at you, you're breaking. Their stone flickered weakly in their palm, barely lit, as though it too struggled to endure. The reader stood near, lantern lifted. His flame had steadied, silver glow casting calm across the fog, though his face was shadowed with worry. The bell will not kill them, he said softly, but it will strip them until only what must remain survives. The figure stepped closer, their voice low, certain. This is the climb, it cannot be refused. The seated ring of watchers raised their heads again. Hollow eyes glimmered faintly, hands rising in unison, palms outstretched. Their mouths open. The word came, layered through 100 throats. Stand, the bell tolled. The command shook through you, rattling your bones. You staggered to your feet, legs trembling, the ribbon burning brighter. The fog surged upward, curling around your chest, your neck, your face. It pushed you forward, step by step, until you stood at the base of the bell. The rope swayed, strands twitching like a living thing. The runes along the rim flared blinding white. The bell tolled again, and the chamber shifted. The floor beneath you rippled. The stone dissolved into fog swirling outward until you stood on a narrow bridge suspended in endless dark. The bell hung above you, vast, heavier than mountains, its rim glowing faintly with words you almost understood. Across the bridge a figure waited, not blurred, not hollow, whole. It was you. But unlike the visions before, not broken, not younger, not abandoned. This one stood tall, calm, certain. Their ribbon glowed steady at their wrist, not burning but shining, threads of silver spreading across their arm like veins of light. The other you raised their head. Their eyes burned with pale fire. Their voice carried across the bridge, low and steady. I carried what you would not, I kept what you left. Now tell me why you deserve to leave this tower while I remain. Your throat tightened. The fog whispered at your feet, a chorus urging you forward. Answer, 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 the bell tolled. The bridge shook. Your companion's voice reached faintly through the fog, muffled as though from a great distance. Don't give it everything, just enough to survive. The reader's lantern flared, silver fire burning across the edges of the vision. His voice thundered. Do not lie, the bell will know. The figure across the bridge stepped closer. Their face was yours, but steady, unbroken, whole. Why do you deserve to leave? The fog pressed tighter, whispering, hissing. Why? The bell tolled again, louder than before. The bridge quaked, the cracks spreading across its surface. The abyss below stirred with pale light. You staggered forward, chest burning, ribbon searing against your skin. Your voice broke through the roar. I don't deserve it. The vision froze. The other you stared, eyes burning bright. I don't deserve to leave, you said again louder. I left too much. I abandoned too much. I broke too much. I cannot undo it. I cannot make it whole. The fog hissed, recoiling. The watchers in the chamber stirred. The other you stepped closer, eyes unblinking, voice sharp as glass. Then why climb? Why endure? The bell tolled. Your chest shook with the weight of the sound. Your words trembled free, raw, ragged. Because someone has to carry it, even broken, even burning. If not me, then who? The bridge stilled. The abyss below hushed. The other you's eyes dimmed, their ribbon fading. Their face softened, hollowing until it dissolved into mist. The bell tolled one last time. The bridge shattered. You fell hard against the chamber floor, lungs heaving. The ribbon burned, then cooled, its glow settling into a faint silver pulse. The seated watchers lowered their heads in unison. The rope fell still. The runes dimmed. For the first time since the climb began, the bell was silent. The reader lowered his lantern, his voice calm but grave. The tower has tested you. But it is not finished. The silence is only rest. Your companion touched your arm, eyes wet, stone dim in their palm. How much more can you take? The figure by the bell turned, shadows stretching long across the floor. Their voice was quiet but certain, as much as the tower requires. The fog curled tighter around your legs, your chest, your throat. And though the bell had fallen silent, you could still feel it, waiting. The bell was silent. Its vast body loomed above the chamber, rim streaked with tarnish, runes dim, rope still. The silence it left behind was heavier than sound. It pressed against your ears, sank into your chest, coiled low in your gut. The ring of watchers did not move. Their heads remained bowed, their hands folded neatly in their laps. The fog curled around them like a blanket, restless but hushed, as if even it feared to disturb the stillness. You waited, breath shallow, chest rising and falling with effort. Your ribbon no longer burned. It pulsed faintly, slow and steady, silver light dimming with each beat. Yet the knot held tight, and every throb felt like a reminder the silence had not freed you. It was only another form of keeping. Your companion crouched close, their face pale, eyes wet. The stone in their palm was little more than a shadow now, a faint ember hidden in the fog. "It stopped," they whispered, as though speaking too loud might awaken something. "Maybe it's over." The reader's lantern flickered, flame steady but subdued. His gaze lingered on the bell, his expression unreadable. "No," he said softly. The tower never ends in silence. Silence is only another test. The figure stepped closer to the rim of the bell. Their outline was sharp against the dim light, voice low, calm, sir. "It is waiting to see who speaks first." The silence thickened. Your throat ached. The absence of sound was worse than the tolling. At least when the bell thundered, you knew where the weight came from. Now the weight came from nowhere and everywhere. The fog stirred faintly at your feet, whispering with 1,000 soft breaths. Words half formed and half dissolved. "Say something, say anything," you swallowed hard. "I am still here," you whispered. The sound cracked in the hush, louder than it should have been. It carried across the chamber, bouncing from stone to stone until it seemed to echo inside the silence itself. The rope swayed once, just once, then stilled again. The runes along the rim flared faintly, one by one, as if marking your words. The reader exhaled, a sound too loud in the hush. It heard you. Your companion gripped your arm, but it didn't answer. "No," the reader said. His lantern swayed, silver light stretching across the fog. "It waits for more." The silence deepened, swallowing even the breath of your companions. The watchers shifted faintly, their hollow eyes lifting to stare at you through the haze. The rope swayed again, not by toll, by choice, your choice. The figure turned, their shadow long across the floor. The bell has given you its silence. Now it waits to see if you can bear to break it. Your ribbon pulsed once, hard, silver threads flaring up your arm. The fog pressed tighter, whispering insistently, "Speak, speak, speak." Your lips parted, the silence waited, and the bell did not toll. The bell loomed above you, silent, waiting. The rope swayed faintly in the stale air, strands brushing the floor with the softness of cloth. The runes along the rim glowed dim, pulsing like faint embers in ash. The watchers shifted. For the first time since you entered the chamber, their hands did not stay folded. Fingers twitched, palms turned, shoulders lifted with the weight of breath. A low creak passed through the circle as wooden chairs strained beneath their movements. Your companion clutched your arm, stone trembling faintly in their palm. Their whisper broke the hush. "They're moving." The reader raised his lantern. The silver flame flared, spilling light across bowed heads. His voice was low, steady. "It is not you who breaks the silence, it is them." The figure stepped closer to the bell, shadow sharp against the pale bronze. "The tower has listened long enough. Now it will answer." The fog stirred violently, curling higher, wrapping your waist, your chest, your throat. Whispers rose, fragmented at first, then sharper, layered, too many voices speaking at once. "You left. You forgot. You promised. You broke." The sound swelled until it became a roar of whispers, pressing against your skull, filling your ears until you could not hear your own breath. The rope snapped upward, thrashing like a whip. The bell tolled, the silence shattered. The sound was not like before, not heavy, not thunder. This toll was sharp, cutting like metal tearing itself apart. The chamber shook, cracks split the walls. Dust rained from the ceiling. The watchers all raised their heads in unison, hollow eyes glowing white, and they spoke, not a whisper, not a demand, a chant. "Return, return, return." The fog screamed, rushing inward, coiling around your body, lifting you from the ground. Your ribbon burned, not flaring bright silver until light spilled from your wrist in sharp threads. You struggled, voice breaking. Return where? The chant rose louder. Return, return, return. The reader's lantern flared, fighting the fog's silver flame burning high. His voice thundered. Do not answer. Let it speak its place. Your companion cried out, reaching for you, but the fog dragged them back. Their stone dimmed to nothing in their hand. The figure near the bell stood tall, unflinching. Their voice cut through the chant, cold and certain. Return where you left them. The bell tolled again. The runes along its rim flared blinding white. The rope snapped, frayed strands whipping across the floor, and the chamber dissolved. You stood in another place, not field, not street, not house, a crossroads. 4 roads stretched from a single point. Each one vanished into fog, swallowed before you could see its end. The stones beneath your feet were cracked, old, worn smooth by countless steps. At the center of the crossroads, a lantern burned. Not silver, not gold, pale blue. Its flame shivered, fragile, as though it might vanish with a single breath. The fog curled low, whispering in unison. Choose. The bell tolled, far away now, but loud enough to shake the air. Choose. Your ribbon seared. The lantern at the crossroads flickered, flame bending toward one road, then another, restless, indecisive. Your chest tightened. The fog pressed harder, and the voices rose together, heavy, endless. Choose, choose, choose. The crossroads waited. 4 roads stretched away from the lantern, each vanishing into fog so dense it seemed solid. The stones beneath your feet groaned faintly, as though the weight of your presence had disturbed a place that preferred to keep still. The pale blue lantern flickered at the center, its fragile flame bending now toward one road, now another, restless, undecided. The fog pressed against your knees, your waist, your chest. Its whispers rose in unison, 1,000 low voices shaping the same command. Choose. The bell tolled in the distance. The sound rumbled low across the stones, sinking into your bones. The reader lifted his lantern, silver flame dim in the heavy air. It will not let you walk all paths. It will ask you to bear one. Your companion clutched your arm, the stone in their palm no longer glowing, only warm like a coal on the edge of ash. Don't rush, look first, look. The figure stepped forward, shadow stretching long. Their voice was calm, low, certain. Every road is a promise left undone. One will take you deeper. One will break you. One will return you to where you began. One will not end. The fog surged, curling tighter. Choose. You turned to the first road. Its stones were cracked, stained dark as if soaked with water that never dried. The fog there moved in slow spirals, whispering faintly. Shapes stirred in its depths. Chairs, broken, scattered, their legs splintered, their seats empty. The sound of wood scraping against stone drifted faintly from the mist. Your ribbon pulsed once. A memory rose unbidden, rows of chairs in a vast room, faces turned toward you, hollow eyes demanding an answer. Your chest tightened. You stepped back. You turned to the second road. The stones here were smooth, polished, pale as bone. The fog lay still across it, unmoving, heavy. At its edge, you saw a door standing upright in the mist, not set in any wall, not bound by frame. A single handprint glowed faintly on its surface, burned deep, black as ash. The air around it was hot, too hot. Your wrist seared with sudden heat. The ribbon flared bright, the knot glowing like molten silver. Your throat caught. A whisper rose from the road, sharp, brittle. You said you'd stand between us. You pulled your hand away from the heat. The fog hushed. You turned to the third road. This one was different. The The stones were uneven, scattered, as though the path had broken and been pieced back together. The fog shifted oddly here, pulsing in rhythm with a sound that was not the bell. A steady drip, water falling, striking stone. At its edge, a well stood, not the one from the square. This one was smaller, its stones crooked, its rope frayed to threads. From its depths rose a whisper, soft, patient. I am still waiting. The fog curled upward from the well's mouth, pale tendrils reaching like hands. Your heart thudded. You stepped back quickly. You turned to the fourth road. No stones at all, only soil, soft, damp, dark. The fog clung low, thick, nearly black. It did not whisper, it did not move, it simply waited. The pale blue lantern's flame bent hardest toward this road, trembling, its light thinning as though drawn into the dark. The fog at its edge parted faintly, just enough to reveal something buried in the soil. A ribbon, gray, frayed. Half buried, half exposed, glowing faintly as if alive. Your own ribbon burned, searing your wrist, the knot tightening until it hurt to breathe. The fog whispered at last, softer than before. Carry it. The bell tolled again. Louder, closer. The four roads loomed before you. The lantern flickered violently, bending toward the fourth. The fog pressed hard against your back, and the voices rose again, 1,000 strong. Choose, choose, choose. The crossroads breath. Four roads stretched before you, each whispering its own unfinished weight. The pale blue lantern flickered violently, its fragile flame bending hard toward the fourth path, trembling as though straining to leap free of its glass. The bell tolled. The sound rolled low across the stones, sinking into your bones, pressing the air from your lungs. The rope thrashed against bronze far away, but you felt it here, heavy, as if it dangled just above your head. The fog pressed against your back, cold and wet, urging you toward the fourth road, the path of soil, damp and dark, where a gray ribbon lay half buried, pulsing faintly in the dirt. Your chest clenched. Your ribbon burned, not flaring bright silver, so hot you winced. The fog whispered, carry it. You staggered back, shaking your head. No, your companion caught your arm, their stone trembling faintly in their palm. Then choose another, they urged. Their eyes darted between the paths. Anything else, don't let it force you. The reader lifted his lantern. Silver flame swayed tall, steady, though his jaw was tight. You cannot fight the tower, he warned, but you can delay it. For a moment, the figure's voice cut low and certain. Delay is nothing. The bell has already decided. The bell tolled again. The sound cracked the air. Dust fell from nowhere, vanishing before it touched the ground. The fog surged, rising higher, curling across your chest, your throat, pressing harder toward the fourth road. But you turned to the second instead. The path of the handprint. Heat rushed from it, blistering your skin. The black palm mark on the freestanding door flared red, glowing like coal. A voice broke through the fog, sharp, brittle, angry. You said you'd stand between us. Your throat caught. Your ribbon burned brighter. The fog hissed violently, swirling around your legs, dragging you back. You twisted toward the third road, the broken stones, the crooked well. Its rope hung limp, frayed. A whisper rose faintly, low and patient. I am still waiting. The sound broke your knees. You staggered toward it, desperate to step onto its path. But the fog screamed. The bell tolled. The lantern at the center bent sharply, its flame whipped toward the fourth road until it nearly extinguished. Your companion cried out, clutching your arm. Don't let it drag you. The reader's lantern flared, silver flame bursting bright, pushing the fog back an arm's length. His voice thundered. You cannot run every road. You will break one only. One, the fog coiled, shrieking. It surged behind you like a wave, and it shoved you onto the fourth path. The soil was damp beneath your feet, soft, sucking at your steps. The fog thickened, black and heavy, swallowing light. The pale blue lantern dimmed behind you, its flame trembling as though cut by wind. The bell tolled again. The ribbon in the dirt pulsed faintly, glowing gray, frayed and half-buried. Threads of light spread from it into the soil, crawling outward like roots. The fog hissed. Take it. Your wrist seared. The knot burned until silver light bled down your arm, dripping into the ground like molten threads. Your companion's voice reached faintly through the mist, desperate. Don't touch it, the reader's voice followed, heavy, resigned. They must. It is theirs. The figure's shadow leaned long across the soil. Every ribbon belongs where it was left, and every ribbon is found again. The bell tolled once more. The ground trembled, and the ribbon tore free of the dirt, twisting upward like a living thing, glowing bright, searing, wrapping itself around your wrist. It's not cinched tight, burning through flesh into bone. Your breath caught. You fell to your knees, clutching your arm as the light spread, crawling up your chest, searing across your heart. The fog screamed. The watchers' voices rose faintly from nowhere, 1,000 hollow throats chanting in unison. Carry it, carry it, carry it. The bell tolled again. The soil split beneath you, and the road fell away. You collapsed onto stone once more. The chamber had returned. The bell loomed above, runes glowing bright. The rope swayed violently, frayed strands snapping with each toll. Your ribbon burned silver, 2 knots now glowing, threads of light wrapped tight across your arm. Your companion fell at your side, tears in their eyes, stone dim in their palm. How much more can it take? The reader lowered his lantern, his face pale, voice heavy. As much as the tower demands. The figure stepped forward, calm, certain. Their voice was low, steady, and the tower is not finished. The bell tolled again, soft, patient, waiting. The chamber breathed with you. The bell loomed above, silent for the moment, its vast rim glowing faintly with the runes that shifted in and out of shapes you almost understood. The rope swayed, not in toll, but in rest, its frayed strands brushing the stone floor with a sound like cloth dragged across bone. You knelt at its base, arm trembling, ribbon seared deep into your skin. 2 knots now pulsed, silver light crawling up your veins like roots, spreading faintly across your chest. The heat of it lingered, heavy, constant, alive. Your companion crouched close, stone clutched tight in both hands. Its glow had gone completely, a dead ember, but they held it still as if their grip alone could keep it breathing. Their voice cracked, raw. You can't keep taking them. You'll vanish. Piece by piece, you'll vanish. You tried to answer, but your breath broke on the words. The reader stepped nearer, lantern raised. The silver flame swayed calm, steady, spilling a circle of light across the fog. His eyes met yours. They were weary, lined with years of waiting, but steady. They will not vanish, he said quietly, but they will not be who they were when the tower is done. No one leaves unchanged. Your companions shook their head fiercely. Then they shouldn't leave at all. The figure's shadow fell long across the stones. Their voice was low, sir. The tower doesn't offer escape. It offers endurance. That is its mercy. The rope twitched, strands rattling faintly. The runes along the rim flared a little brighter, then dimmed again. The fog curled tighter, pressing against your knees, your waist, your chest. But it did not drag you yet. It circled like a predator that knew its prey was too weak to flee. The silence pressed heavy. You closed your eyes, hand clutching the ribbon at your wrist. It pulsed in time with your heartbeat, each throb a reminder. You were bound here now. The watchers stirred faintly in their seats. 1,000 hollow eyes lifted just for a breath, then bowed again. The scrape of chairs echoed through the hush, a sound soft but endless as though wood itself remembered promises broken and kept. The bell did not toll, not yet. Your companion's hand found your shoulder. Their whisper brushed your ear, trembling. You don't have to give it everything, just hold, just hold. The reader's lantern burned steadier, flame unwavering. His voice was calm but grave. They cannot hold forever. The bell decides the measure. The figure stood still as stone. Their shadow leaned toward the bell, and the bell is not finished. The rope twitched again. The fog hissed. And the silence deepened, pressing against your teeth, your ears, your lungs, so thick it felt like drowning in nothing. The watchers raised their heads in unison, and the rope snapped upward. The bell tolled, louder than before. So loud the stone floor split, cracks spiderwebbing outward, glowing faint silver. The runes along the rim flared with blinding light, shifting violently, letters crawling across bronze like insects. The fog screamed, rushing upward, swallowing the chamber, wrapping around your chest, your throat, your eyes. Your ribbon seared, burning hotter than ever, both knots blazing, threads of light spreading across your chest like a net. The bell tolled again, and the chamber dissolved. You were standing at a river. Its waters were black, slow, wide. The fog drifted across its surface, curling in long bands, hiding its far shore. A single bridge stretched across, narrow, broken in places, its stones uneven, half sunken into the current. On the near bank, a lantern burned pale silver, flame swaying, casting light across the first few steps of the bridge. And from the far shore, voices rose. Not one, many. You left us. You promised. You forgot. The fog curled from the river, whispering, urging. Cross. The bell tolled again, distant but heavy, shaking the water, rippling the current until faces blurred beneath its surface. Your ribbon pulsed, burning hotter, pulling your arm toward the bridge. And the voices rose louder, stronger, endless. Cross, cross, cross. The river moved slow and heavy, its black waters rippling with each distant toll of the bell. Fog drifted across its surface in long ribbons, curling, parting, then closing again, as though the water itself breathed beneath the mist. The sound of the current was faint, muffled, yet when you listened close, it carried something else. Not water over stone, not waves against banks. Words, fragments. Waited, forgot, come back, each ripple was a voice. Each wave a promise unkept. The bridge stretched across the dark span, its stones crooked, uneven, some sunken beneath the black water. Moss clung to the cracks. Gaps yawned between steps where the river had already claimed pieces of the path. The pale lantern at your side flickered, its silver flame bending hard toward the first step. The ribbon at your wrist burned with it, not glowing so bright the light ran across your arm in streaks. The fog whispered from every direction. Cross, cross, cross. Your companions stumbled to your side, their stone dead and cold in their palm. They clutched it still as if to squeeze warmth back into it. Their face was pale, eyes wide. You can't walk that, they said, voice breaking. You'll fall. It wants you to fall. The reader lifted his lantern, silver flame flaring tall. It spilled light across the first stones of the bridge, steady but dim against the vast dark. His voice was calm but grave. They must step onto it. The tower does not summon rivers to be admired. The figure stood behind you, shadow sharp against the fog. Their voice was low, sir, and if they fall, then that was always the truth. The bell tolled again. The river convulsed. Faces rose in the black, mouths open, eyes hollow, staring. The sound of water broke into a chorus of voices. You said you would come back. You said you would not leave us. You promised to stay. Your throat tightened. Your ribbon seared. The fog pressed harder, curling around your chest, your throat, your legs. Cross. You staggered to the lantern at the bank. Its flame bent toward the bridge so hard it seemed ready to leap from its glass. You touched it, and the heat seared into your palm. The flame shivered, then steadied, casting a line of silver across the first few stones. The ribbon at your wrist pulsed with it, not glowing, threads tightening. Your companion grabbed your arm, desperate. Don't go, not this path, not this way. The reader's gaze was steady. There is no other way now. The figure stepped closer. Step onto the bridge. Let the river speak. The bell tolled again. The fog screamed, rushing forward, lifting you from the bank, and it placed your foot upon the first stone. The bridge groaned beneath your weight. The stone bowed faintly, moss slick under your step. The river surged below, voices rising with the current. You left us. You forgot us. You will not leave again. The flame from the lantern shivered violently but steady. A pale line stretched faintly along the path ahead, guiding, fragile. Your ribbon pulsed, the fog pressed, and the bell tolled once more. The bridge groaned beneath your foot, stone bowing under weight it had carried too many times before. Moss slicked the surface, black water seeping through cracks. The lantern's pale flame stretched weakly across the stones, trembling, its thin silver path barely enough to see the next step. The river whispered below. Not one voice, but many, a tide of broken phrases carried by the current. You promised, you said soon, you left. Each ripple carried a memory. Each splash was a word. Your ribbon pulsed, threads of silver running up your arm, glowing faint through your skin. The knot burned steady, every throb like a bell struck inside your veins. The fog pressed tight against your back. Walk. You lifted your foot. The second stone was cracked, its edges crumbling. When your heel touched it, the stone sank an inch into the river, water seeping over its surface. The current hissed, spraying your ankle with cold that stung like glass. From beneath the water, a face lifted, pale, hollow-eyed mouth moving though the river drowned its sound. Its expression was not anger, not grief, something heavier. It stared. The bell tolled in the distance, and its mouth shaped a word you recognized without hearing. Why? You stumbled to the third stone. Each step grew heavier. The bridge curved faintly, stones narrowing, gaps widening. The moss thickened. Some stones leaned sideways, half sunk. Each one trembled when your weight touched it. Below, the river roared with whispers, louder, stronger. The current rose, spraying against your calves, soaking the hem of your clothes. Faces drifted beneath the surface, staring upward, mouths open in endless demand. You left us. You forgot. You will not leave again. The fog hissed against your ears, a chorus layered over the river. Cross, cross. Cross. Your companion's voice reached faintly from the bank, muffled through the fog. Don't look down. Keep moving. The reader's lantern flared behind, silver light stretching thin across the stones. His voice carried sharp, urgent. One step at a time, nothing more, nothing less. The figure stood still at the bank, their voice deep, sir. The river does not want them to cross, it wants them to stay. The bell tolled again. The bridge shook. A stone ahead split, crumbling into the current, swallowed whole. The gap yawned wide, black water rushing between broken edges. Your ribbon pulsed, burning. Threads of light stretched from your wrist to the gap, trembling like a bridge made of veins. The fog whispered, "Carry it across." You staggered forward. Your foot touched the glowing thread. It held. The light pulsed, silver veins trembling, hardening under your weight. You stepped across the gap, the thread glowing brighter, stretching, then vanishing the instant your foot touched stone again. The river screamed. Faces rose violently from the current, pale arms breaking the surface, reaching, grasping. They clawed at the stones, pulling themselves upward, mouths open, whispering louder, louder. You will not leave. You will not leave again, the bell tolled. The arms fell back into the current, vanishing beneath the black. The fog surged, shoving you forward, and you staggered deeper across the bridge. The far shore was not yet visible, only fog, heavy, black, waiting. The lantern's pale flame bent forward, flickering, stretching toward the unseen bank. Your ribbon seared, burning hotter, not pulsing with each toll of the bell. The river whispered louder, voices endless. Cross, 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 the stones groaned, the fog pressed, and the bell tolled again. The bridge trembled beneath your feet, stones bowing, moss slick, gaps yawning wider. The river below surged, black current rising higher, spraying against your legs. The whispers swelled with it, layered into a chorus too heavy to bear. You left us. You left us. You left us. The words did not echo. They struck. Each syllable landed in your chest like a hammer. Your ribbon seared, not blazing silver. Threads of light crawled up your arm, across your chest, wrapping you in a faint net that pulsed with each toll of the bell. The lantern's flame ahead flickered weakly, a trembling thread of silver bending hard toward the fog-drowned far shore. You could not see land, only shadow moving behind the mist. The river rose again. Water lapped at the stones, black foam curling around your ankles, cold as iron. Faces surfaced pale, hollow-eyed, mouths wide open. Arms broke through, clawing, grasping, dripping black water. You will not leave again. The whispers were no longer beneath the water. They were around you, inside you. Your companion's voice carried faintly through the fog, ragged, desperate. Keep moving. Don't stop. The reader's lantern flared from the bank, silver flame burning bright, spilling light across the bridge. His voice thundered. Do not listen. Step, one at a time. The figure's voice followed, calm, low, certain. It does not matter if they step. The river will claim them. The bell tolled again. The current surged higher, water rushing over the stones. You staggered, slipping, arms flailing. Cold gripped your calves, knees, thighs. The weight of the river pressed, dragging you down. Hands burst from the water, grasping your legs, your waist. Faces pressed against the stones, eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Their mouths opened wide, voices rising in unison. Return, the word shook the bridge. Stones cracked. One slipped free, vanishing into the black. You fell to your knees, the ribbon blazed. Silver light flared across your chest, your arm, your wrist. Threads stretched outward, weaving into the air, lashing to broken stones, trembling as they held the bridge together beneath you. The fog screamed, pressing harder, shoving you forward. Your foot found another stone. It held. The river roared. Water surged higher, waist deep now, current pulling hard. Faces swirled around you, mouths open, chanting with the toll of the bell. Return, return, return. Your ribbon pulsed violently. The knot seared, threads of silver spreading across the water, glowing faintly. The arms clutched harder. The current dragged stronger. The far shore flickered faintly through the fog, shadow faint, a line of stone. The lantern's flame bent hard toward it, trembling, desperate. The bell tolled. The bridge split. Stones cracked apart, gaps yawning wide, river swallowing them whole. The path ahead fractured, breaking into floating shards. The water pulled them under one by one. Your ribbon flared, searing so hot you cried out. Threads of silver lashed outward again, stitching the cracks, binding broken stones together in trembling lines of light. The bridge held barely. The river screamed. Faces rose in a wall, eyes blazing white, mouths open. The current surged upward, black foam breaking high enough to spray across your face. Cold stung your skin, burned your chest, filled your mouth with the taste of rust and ash. The fog shrieked louder, drowning your ears. Cross, 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 the bell tolled again, and the river rose to swallow the bridge, and the bridge broke beneath you. The stones split, crumbling, sliding into the current. The silver threads of your ribbon stretched, glowing, snapping, trying to hold, but the weight was too much. The current seized your legs, yanked hard, and in a breath you were pulled down. The water swallowed you whole. The cold was absolute. It bit into your skin, filled your chest, dragged you deeper. The current roared in your ears, but the roar was not water, it was voices. You left. You promised. You will not leave again. The black pressed against your eyes until you could see nothing. Then faintly, faces began to form, pale, hollow, drifting around you. Their mouths opened and closed in endless whisper, bubbles of sound pressing against your skin. Your ribbon blazed. Silver threads lashed outward from your wrist, weaving into the dark water. They caught on nothing. They bound nothing. They only spread, trembling, reaching like veins trying to map an endless body. The bell tolled again, muffled, distant, yet heavy enough to shake the river itself. The faces turned to you as one. Their mouths opened wider. Return. The word thundered through the water, rattling your bones. You tried to speak, but water filled your mouth. Rust, ash, cold. The taste of silence you once left behind. The faces pressed closer. Hands rose from the dark, pale fingers brushing your arms, your chest, your face, not pulling, not tearing. Holding, you said you would come back. The current twisted, dragging you deeper. The lantern's pale flame vanished above, swallowed by the fog. The reader's silver light flickered faintly far away, drowned in shadow. Your companion's voice reached you only as a faint echo. Don't let it, then nothing. Only water, only voices, the ribbon tight. The knot seared white-hot, brighter than ever before, blinding. Threads lashed outward, silver veins tearing through the dark. The water hissed, recoiled, boiled where the light spread. The faces screamed. The river shook, and the current dragged you deeper still. Your feet touched stone, not the bridge, not the bank. A floor flat, cold, endless. You stood suddenly, though the water still rushed over your head. The fog pressed thick, drowning the current, swallowing sound. And in the silence, a door stood before you. Wood, warped, swollen, its surface cracked. A single ribbon hung from its handle, gray and frayed, dripping with water. The bell tolled, the water shivered, and the ribbon whispered, "Open." The river pressed cold against your chest, your throat, your mouth, but the water no longer drowned you. It had become air thick as stone, a weight you could breathe though every inhale cut sharp. The door stood before you, warped, swollen, veins of rot crawling across its grain. From its rusted handle hung the ribbon, gray, frayed, dripping, swaying as though moved by a current you could not see. The bell tolled, the water shivered, the ribbon whispered, "Open," your wrist seared. The knots of your ribbon flared bright, threads of silver twisting violently up your arm, spreading into your chest. The water boiled faintly where the light touched, faces in the current screaming as they recoiled. The fog pressed against your back, whispering in chorus, "Open, open, open." Your hand rose. The wood was slick with moss, swollen soft, yet burning hot beneath your palm. The ribbon brushed your skin, damp and heavy, tightening as though it recognized you. The bell tolled again. The door cracked. Splinters shot outward, bubbles spiraled up through the black water. The wood groaned like a voice breaking under its own weight, and then it opened. You stepped through. The water fell away at once, draining like sand through clenched fists. The weight on your chest dissolved, your lungs burned with air. The room beyond was vast. Stone walls stretched high, dripping with moisture, fog crawling along the floor in thick blankets. The ceiling vanished into shadow. The space was circular, wider even than the chamber of the bell. At its center stood a table, long, narrow, wood blackened with rot. Upon it lay hundreds of objects. A porcelain plate cracked through its middle. A jar with its lid rattling loose. A chair broken, its leg splintered. A lantern dim, its wick black. And ribbons, dozens of them. Some gray, some silver, some frayed, some fresh. Each one knotted tight, glowing faintly in the mist. The bell tolled. The sound came from nowhere, from everywhere. The runes along the wall flared faint silver crawling across stone, alive. The fog surged, and the objects on the table stirred. The plate split wider, its crack glowing. The jar rattled violently, water spilling across the table. The chair groaned, dragging itself an inch forward. The lantern flickered, pale light sparking faintly within its dead wick. The ribbons twisted. Threads uncoiled, reaching like roots, pulsing with light. Voices rose with them. You left me. You promised. You broke me. You will carry me. The sound swelled until it shook the walls. Your ribbon burned in answer, knots glowing so hot you gasped. Threads lashed outward, binding your wrist to the table, silver veins crawling across the wood, weaving into the ribbons there. The fog screamed. The bell tolled again. And the table shuddered, rising on its own legs, looming tall before you. Your companion's voice reached faintly through the fog, panic breaking. You're not meant to take them all. The reader's lantern flared somewhere beyond the mist, silver light burning brighter. His voice was sharp, commanding. Step back, do not touch the table. The figure's shadow stretched long across the wall. Their voice was calm, steady. The table is theirs, it has always been theirs. The ribbons writhed. The plate, the jar, the chair, the lantern, all glowed faintly, alive, whispering, demanding. Carry, carry, carry. The bell tolled again. And the table leaned toward you. Its legs groaned against the stone, dragging faintly as it shifted closer. The wood was blackened, swollen, but alive, breath wheezing through its cracks, threads of fog curling from the seams. Upon its surface, the broken things trembled. The plate split wider, cracked, glowing faint silver. The jar rattled violently, its lid clattering as though it had teeth. The chair shifted again, dragging itself an inch across the rot-stained wood. The lantern flickered pale flame sparking faintly inside its dead wick, and the ribbons writhed, dozens of them, gray, silver, frayed, fresh. They twisted like snakes, knotted, unknotted, glowing, each one pulsing in rhythm with your wrist. The bell tolled. The sound split the chamber, rattling the walls, shaking water from the ceiling in cold rivulets. The runes flared bright, crawling across stone like living veins of fire, and the voices rose. You left me, you promised, you broke me, you will carry me. The words overlapped until they became a roar. Your ribbon blazed, the knots flared white-hot, threads lashing outward. They caught on the ribbons across the table, binding them, weaving them, stitching them to your arm. The pull nearly tore you from your feet. Your companion screamed, their stone clutched tight in both hands. Stop, you'll take them all. You can't. The reader's lantern flared, silver fire bursting bright, spilling across the fog. His voice thundered. Release the knot. Let go before the tower takes everything. The figure's shadow lengthened across the wall. Their voice was calm, unshaken. The tower does not take, it returns. The ribbons writhed harder, glowing brighter. They twisted toward you, coiling, reaching, hungry. The plate cracked in two with a scream like metal torn apart. The jar shattered, water spilling across the wood, glowing pale in the lantern light. The chair snapped, splinters shooting like teeth. The lantern flared alive, flame bursting white, spilling sparks into the fog. The chorus grew louder. Carry, carry. Carry, the bell tolled again. The table slammed forward, throwing its weight against you. You staggered, chest burning, ribbon searing your arm to bone. The silver threads crawled across your chest, across your throat, down your other arm, binding you in light. The weight of it dragged you low, knees striking the stone. The fog screamed. The watchers stirred. Every head lifted in unison. 1,000 hollow eyes burned white. Their mouths opened wide, and they chanted with the bell. Carry, carry. Carry, your lungs buckled, your breath faltered. Your heart hammered against the ribbon's grip. I can't, you rasped. The ribbons writhed harder, tightening, glowing, twisting around your arms, your chest, your throat. The table screamed. The plate, the jar. The chair, the lantern, the ribbons, all of them shrieked as one. You will, the bell tolled again, and the chamber split. Stone cracked underfoot, glowing fissures racing outward from the table. The walls bowed, runes burning white, fire crawling into the fog. Water poured from the ceiling in torrents, hissing against the flames. The watchers rose in unison, chairs splintering, their mouths opening wide, hollow voices roaring louder than the bell. Carry, the ribbon at your wrist blazed like molten steel, light flooding your veins. Your body seized, lifted, bound in threads of silver that stretched upward into the dark. The fog screamed. The bell tolled again, and the world collapsed. You fell through nothing, not stone, not water, not fog, nothing, until at last you landed on soil, damp, cold, soft. You opened your eyes, a field stretched endless before you. Black earth, gray sky, the horizon swallowed in fog. And scattered across the soil, half buried, lay the broken things. The plate, the jar, the chair, the lantern, and ribbons, dozens, hundreds, thousands, tangled, knotted, glowing faintly in the dirt. The bell tolled. The fog whispered. Choose. The field stretched endless beneath the gray sky. Black soil sucked faintly at your hands and knees where you'd landed, damp and cold, smelling of ash and iron. Fog lay heavy along the ground, drifting in slow bands, curling over mounds and pits like breath across sleeping mouths. And everywhere scattered, half-buried, broken, lay the things you had seen. A plate fractured clean through, its porcelain veins filled with dirt. A jar cracked along its sides, its shattered mouth rimmed with rust. A chair splintered, one leg missing, its back bent like a broken spine. A lantern toppled on its side, wick black, glass cracked, flame dead. And ribbons, dozens of them, hundreds, tangled in knots, frayed, glowing faint silver through the soil. Some lay loose like veins torn from the ground. Some pulsed faintly, half-buried, twitching like things alive. The bell tolled. The sound was far, but it shook the field, rumbling through the earth, rattling the broken things until shards clinked against one another. The ribbons pulsed with it, light flickering in unison with each heavy note. The fog whispered low, rising in a chorus of layered voices. Choose. You staggered to your feet, chest burning, ribbon at your wrist blazing so hot your veins glowed. The knots pulsed sharp, each throb pulling your body toward the scattered things. Your companions stumbled into the field behind you, stone clutched tight, dead in their hand. Their face was pale, eyes wide. Don't touch them, they whispered, shaking their head. You'll bind yourself to all of it. You'll disappear. The reader appeared in the fog farther back, lantern raised high, silver flame spilling across the black soil. His voice was low but clear. The tower will not let them leave empty-handed. One at least must be carried. That is the way of the field. The figure stood still at the edge, their outline dark against the pale mist. Their voice was steady, calm, certain. Every object remembers. Whichever they choose will bind. The rest will wait for another. The bell tolled again. The object stirred. The plate rattled where it lay, its halves clinking softly. A crack of light spread along its seam, glowing faint. A whisper seeped from it, faint but sharp. You said you would return before I broke. Your stomach twisted. The jar groaned, shards shifting. Water seeped from its base, dark, thick, smelling of rust. Its voice bubbled through the soil, muffled, strained. You said you would keep me safe. The chair creaked, wood straining, dragging itself an inch upright. Its back bent further, splinters groaning. You said you would sit, but you never did. The lantern flickered faintly, its cracked glass glowing with pale sparks. A faint flame shivered within, almost alive. You said you would bring the light. The ribbons writhed. Their whispers overlapped, hundreds of voices at once, some faint, some sharp, some begging, some accusing. You left. You promised. You broke. You will carry me. The fog swirled violently, pressing against your chest, your legs, your throat. Choose. Your ribbon pulsed violently, not blazing white. Threads lashed outward from your wrist, trembling, reaching toward all the objects at once. You staggered, clutching your arm, chest burning. I can't, you gasped. Your companion cried out, tears streaking their face. Then do, let it take nothing. The reader's lantern flared, silver flame roaring tall. His voice thundered. The bell does not leave without a mark. If they do not choose, it will. The figure's shadow stretched across the soil. Their voice cut steady, quiet. Better to bind yourself by your own hand than to be bound by silence. The bell tolled again. The field shook. The plate split wider. The jar cracked open. The chair snapped. The lantern flared. The ribbon screamed. And the fog pressed hard against your back. Choose, choose, choose. The field trembled beneath your feet. The plate rattled, jar cracked wider, chair splintered, lantern sparked. Ribbons writhed like snakes in the dirt, glowing, twisting, coiling around each other, whispering in 1,000 broken voices. Choose, choose, choose. Your wrist burned. The knots of your ribbon flared white-hot, threads crawling across your chest, your throat, binding you in a net of light. They stretched toward the plate, toward the jar, toward the chair, toward the lantern, trembling, desperate. Your knees buckled. You fell to the damp soil. I can't, you rasped. The fog surged against your back, shoving you forward, pressing your chest to the earth. Its whispers screamed in your ear, layered, endless. Choose, choose. Choose. Your companion dropped beside you, clutching your arm, their stone cold and lifeless in their hand. Their face was wet, pale, desperate. Then don't, they cried. Let it take nothing. Let it choke on its own demands. The reader lifted his lantern. Silver fire roared, casting the field in stark light. His voice thundered. The bell will not choke, it will choose for them. And its choosing is always heavier. The figure stood still at the edge, shadow long across the soil. Their voice was quiet, steady, certain. Let it decide. What is taken by force cannot be set down. The bell tolled again. The soil cracked. The plate shattered, porcelain shards scattering across the dirt. The jar burst, water spilling in thick streams that hissed like voices. The chair broke in two, splinters writhing like fingers. The lantern flared, its wick bursting into pale fire that seared the fog. and the ribbons screamed. They surged upward in a tangled mass, silver and gray, frayed and fresh, all twisting together into a single, writhing coil. They lashed outward, hundreds of them whipping across the field. Your ribbon answered. The knots flared so bright your arm burned white, your veins seared with light. Threads shot outward, binding themselves to the coil, stitching you into it. The field roared.